Philadelphia, February 1985. The city is in the grips of one of the coldest winters on record. Kids staying home sick from school with the flu or watching Bob Barker host The Price is Right, hiding his gray hair with a dye that's not quite the right shade of brown. In heavy radio rotation are the songs Boys of Summer and The Heat is On, which seem to be the only things helping to keep the warmth in the minds and hearts of Philadelphians. The last year under Mayor W. Wilson Goode has brought a decline in crime and homicides in what is a notoriously violent city where now MTV, leg warmers, day-glow colors, and money worship make up the popular culture that is also prevalent across the country. Ronald Reagan has just been sworn in for his second term as President of the United States, bringing with him hope of an enduring economic boom. But it's not all good news, neon, and pop music in the city of Philadelphia. There is an unease in the frigid air, a portent of the events about to unfold. And we see beautiful downtown Philadelphia from above, bustling on this Friday afternoon. We zoom down onto 2006 Chestnut Street, where there is what was once an unassuming old bookshop that has been there so long it now looks out of place amidst its modern surroundings. And inside is an unassuming man of small stature, a bookworm who loves his job here at the store. What are you up to, Walter Pendergrast?
Well, it's a typical day. I suppose I tidied up my little back room study where I like to really pour through the pages of old and perhaps damaged books if they need restoration. I don't think there's been anything that's come in lately, so it's probably pretty tidy and all the dust is swept away, and I guess it's out into the main area, walk the grounds, see if there's any regulars.
All right, so you do make the rounds around right now as far as regulars go. You don't see too many in there. There's not too many people in the store at all today, really. However, it's just past lunchtime, I'm going to say. You probably just finished eating sandwich or whatever you had for lunch.
Maybe go to re-up that coffee then.
All right, so you go do that. And as you go to reheat up your coffee, there's a little tingle from the front door, a dingle of the bell that is attached to there. A little ding-a-ding-a-ding.
Turns around.
In walks in a woman who's pretty mousy, not altogether unattractive, but dresses pretty frumpy, like cardigan on, and her haircut is so that her bangs are a little too long. They kind of cover part of her eyebrows a little bit, almost like she's trying to hide her face. Okay. But you recognize her. This is a woman by the name of Millie.
Millie, okay. Well, then probably puts his coffee down and makes to greet her. Millie, what brings you in today? Gives her a nod and a wave.
She goes, "Oh, hi, Walter. Nice to see you."
Likewise.
She acts a little sheepish. Now, you and her have been talking back and forth. She's a librarian who has been working for the Free Library of Philadelphia for years now. You and her have been talking back and forth about your love of books and just different literature conversations that you guys have blossomed a friendship over the last couple years here. However, more recently, there's been kind of a turn. She seems to be a little flirty with you almost.
Go figure. Who knew my love for books would blossom into something else?
Yeah, I know you don't have the. That's one thing about you. You don't have the highest appearance score, right?
That's a good question. No, I guess he's in the lower end at 40.
Okay, but so that's below average. So you're not the best looker, but she's taken a shine to you, obviously. And she says, "Well, how have you been, Walter?"
Well, I guess it's been kind of slow. It's been a bit boring lately, aside from the cold. Thankfully, the heater works, and looks around. This place probably has like an old kerosene heater or something.
Mm-hmm. So you got like the extra heater going in the corner there, just because it's an old building. It's a little drafty.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But you got the extra heater going and to keep it comfortable in there. Now, Millie kind of gives a little bit of a sad look, and she says to you, "Yeah, things around the library have been pretty boring lately too. I mean, I'm getting up there. I mean, if you don't mind me asking, I know we've asked this before, but how old are you, Walter?
Well, I'll be 56 this year. And he kind of stands up a little bit taller. Maybe a good 5'7" at best.
She says, well, you look good for your age, that's for sure.
Kind of blushes and smiles. Oh, well, thanks. Scratches his head a little bit. Mm-hmm. You want some coffee? He gestures to the coffee maker in the other side of the room.
She goes, no, I'm okay. I was just thinking, do you ever want more out of life than just, kind of what we do?
Well, I never thought about it. When I think about more, I usually think about a super rare book that I've never seen or heard of before.
Yeah, but don't you think there's more to life than just books and writing and reading? And, there's real stuff to do out there. Don't you ever want to, I don't know, be something else? Or...
Well, I mean, that's the beauty of what I do. As a historian, I get to play around with all these trinkets from the past and uncover, what truths they may have held or who they might have been important to. I guess I never really thought about it.
Maybe it's just because I just turned 50, but I've just been thinking a lot about it recently. And, opportunities that might present themselves that, I should take advantage of and things like that. But let me just ask you, what are you doing tomorrow night?
Well, I suppose if it's like an ordinary tomorrow night, there'd maybe be a book and a bit of coffee.
Well, it happens to be Friday. It happens to be Friday afternoon, and tomorrow will be Saturday, so you probably free on a Saturday.
Yeah, I guess my weekends, if there's not too much snow outside, you'd probably make the rounds, check out some of the local bars.
Okay. She says, well, how about instead of doing your normal Saturday night routine, whatever it is, would you like to go out on a date with me?
Well, I think that'd be wonderful. I could pick you up sometime. When were you thinking? He probably looks a little nervous. Hands are shaking.
He's like, she looks down at her watch. She pulls out a little book from her pocket, looks at it, and she goes, how about like 8 o'clock tomorrow night?
Splendid. And he pulls out a similar, well-used, leather-bound book and pencil built in. Writes it all down. Chronological order.
So she says to you that she'll meet you at a restaurant. So how about, like, we meet at, I don't know, somewhere nice that I haven't been to, like Chez Vivez.
Ooh, that sounds pretty fancy. Maybe I should stop by the library and take out a book on French.
She goes, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right.
He says, well, he thinks about his Latin background. He says, maybe it's pronounced a little differently, but it's close enough. He kind of shrugs and plays it off a bit.
So she seems pretty excited. And she says to you, well, I'll meet you there tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Does that sound okay?
That sounds wonderful.
She goes,
he's probably pretty excited as well.
She goes, wow, that's great. That's great. What I came in here for initially, though.
Of course, he kind of reverts back to business mode.
I was looking for a book on an artist. You carry art books here, right?
Of course, there's a fine selection of select art books, pictures, and both historical references. Were you looking for something specific?
She says, yeah. I wanted to learn more about some artist named Jakanovich.
Is that somebody he would have had any knowledge of or any reason?
Well, give me an appraisal roll.
Ooh, no good. 75.
75. Give me a history roll then.
I don't think I've heard of
You're gonna need a
yeah.
hard pass.
Unless it could be under some other name I'm not thinking of. And he kind of repeats the name aloud a few times. Oof, even worse at 91.
Ooh, okay. You have no idea who this
Doesn't
artist
sound
is.
familiar, but I could certainly do a little research. Is there a number I could reach you back at in maybe an hour or so? Or maybe more, just in case. I don't know how obscure this artist is, but I'm sure I can find something.
She says, "Are you asking me for my number?"
You got me. He says, I suppose I am, for more than one reason in this case.
She goes, "Yeah, sure," and she writes it down for you.
Nice. He says, well done there. People don't usually stump me like that with historical references. And he kind of puts his fist on his hips and looks a little, not frazzled, but surprised. And to think some people call themselves professionals. And he kind of, plays with his little scraggly beard. It's probably not much of a beard at all, just some little chin fuzz. He thinks to himself, future note, I should totally shave for tomorrow.
Before Millie leaves, she says to you about this artist, Jakanovich. She says, the reason I'm looking up for this artist is, I had some distant uncle that passed away recently, and he didn't have any closer relatives, and I inherited as some sort of statue by that artist.
Interesting. He actually takes his leather-bound book out and does the old make sure there's no dust on the tip of his pencil, and he's like, okay, uncle's inheritance statue. Have you seen the statue? Tell me a little more about it. Is it a person or creature or animal, or what do you have there?
She says it's hard to describe. It isn't pleasant to look at. It's got weird bends and angles to it. It kind of looks like a person's head trying to swallow itself, is the best way I could describe it.
Okay, and he pencils in abstract. Okay, well, that gives me something to work with. I don't suppose you have any idea how long your uncle may have had this statue, do you? And he kind of probes a little deeper.
Says, I have no idea. I didn't really know the guy.
What about your uncle's name himself? Maybe I could find some information on how he acquired this unusual statue.
His name was Charles Thiebley.
Charles Thiebley. Okay, that should help. He checks the spelling, make sure he has it all right, just for whatever accuracy that may matter in the future.
Okay.
He says, well, I gotta say, Millie, that's probably the most interesting request we've had in some time. And he's genuinely interested in this. There's a lot of points here that are kind of unknown at the moment, and it's certainly more interesting than dusting off old shelves and taking spider webs out of the corners of windows.
She goes, well, I'm glad I can make your day interesting, at least. And she gives you a little smile and a nod, and she leaves the bookstore.
All right. Well, yeah, I guess he'd probably be... he'd probably need a moment to kind of collect himself after all that. Pretty exciting stuff. He does the old, hands together, like Monty Burns for a minute there.
The pyramided fingers.
Yeah. And so, he probably collects his things and sits down and thinks for a moment. Takes another sip of his coffee.
This game is going pretty well. He's got a date, everything's wonderful.
So far, things are looking pretty
good.
good.
It's my favorite.
So, let's take an hour passes by. Nothing much happens on your end at the bookshop there.
Does anybody else come in, or is it completely quiet?
There's people that come and go. They just kind of looky-loos, that kind of thing. But we're going to change our focus over to Ms. Snakehole, Heather, who is at home right now. It's about 2 p.m. I'm going to say that you're probably getting ready for your usual nighttime shift, or having would you say your character would be having breakfast or lunch at 2 p.m?
Breakfast.
Stays up all
Probably
night.
Just coffee too. Yeah.
So you party animal?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
She works hard. She plays hard.
Plays hard.
It's kind of like bartenders.
That will not be my voice, by the way.
Oh, why not?
That would be amazing.
I could never keep that up. I'd
A
have to smoke so many
27-year-old
cigarettes the
sounding
whole
like
time.
that.
The young Marge.
Don't worry
Simpson.
about it, hon.
I've been
Marge.
smoking since I was 6 years old.
What are you drinking?
You want a cherry with that?
You're at home eating breakfast around 2 o'clock in the afternoon when your phone rings. You got one of those weird like football phones or something like that, something wacky.
Yes.
Football phone, or possibly one of those hamburgers
the kiss,
that opens
the lips.
Oh,
Yeah.
the lip would be good. Yeah.
The lips.
up. The lips. Yeah, the lips.
It's got, like,
That's a great
It's got
one.
rhinestones that are multicolored all over the back of it.
You know it, baby.
So you pick up your lips phone and what do you say?
Hello.
And on the other end is your godmother, who you refer to as Aunt Millie. Millie says to you over the phone, she goes, hi. Says, hi, Heather. She goes, how are you doing today?
Hi, Millie. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Listen, I know you were always telling me to, kind of ease up and relax a little bit more, but I just wanted to call to let you know I'm excited. I finally did it. I asked a guy out, and he said yes.
Oh my God, who is it?
He's this guy I've been talking to. I don't know if I mentioned him before, but he works at the bookshop, the old bookshop on Chestnut Street downtown.
Is he cute?
That's not important. What's important is that he's a real nice guy and he's interesting and we get along really well.
Oh, that's so great, Millie. What are you guys doing? Where are you going?
We're going to that fancy. I'm going to meet him at that fancy French restaurant, Chez Vezvez.
Oh, that's great. I don't know if that's how you say it.
I'm not sure how to pronounce it either. So she says to you, so I'm just real excited about this. The other thing. I got this really weird sculpture from an uncle. You're not related to him, but who passed away recently. And the thing honestly kind of creeps me out. I'm going to go find out if it's worth any money or anything. I'd like to get rid of it.
What is it of?
It's hard to say what's it of. It's looks like an old man trying to swallow his own head is the best way I can describe it. It's hard to see. It's pretty gruesome. It creeps me out. I don't like it.
I don't think that's going to be worth any money.
Well, I don't know. I wanted to look up the artist, but I can't find him any. I have the that guy that I'm going on a date with actually trying to find books on him.
Has he ever heard of him?
No, he hasn't heard of him either. I haven't heard of this artist Jakanovich. Have you heard of him? You can give me an appraisal roll if you want.
Artists.
Or history.
What's that?
Yeah, you want to roll the two dice that go together that I showed you?
Yeah.
The 10s and the other 10-sided die?
Yeah.
All right. So you roll those together and you want to get lower than your appraisal score. Not triple zeros.
Basically, you want to get
Triple zeros is real bad.
Zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Or equal to, right?
No, wait, no, one of those is a fail. Okay, not triple zeros. Okay, so 1 through 5, unless you put some points into them. That's usually an obscure skill there.
Pass.
No pressure or anything. Just a super hard.
Did you
roll.
pass?
So just, I don't know. He said not to do it. All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Did you roll them?
Is it lower than
61?
5?
I think I rolled the wrong dice.
You rolled a 61?
Yeah.
No, that's good. That you rolled it right. It's just you didn't pass.
Okay. Oh.
You haven't heard of this guy. That's all.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Right.
No, I haven't heard of him.
Nope. So she says to you, well, I haven't heard of him either, but, well, we'll find out, see if it's actually worth anything. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, good luck on your date.
Just thanks. And hangs up with you. And we're going to fast forward a little bit. Jenny, your character, Heather, goes through her routine of probably, like, I'm going to guess, like, maybe working out or something like that, and showering, and then getting... Does she wear makeup? Is she that kind of girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, so getting her makeup, putting her face together, dressing just right for the job that she works at, which is at a bar that is kind of divey and not really... Yes. She looks too pretty for this bar anyway. We'll say that, even though I think your character has an appearance of 55.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people in this are below that, so... You got some uggos coming in.
Perfect. That's my wheelhouse.
So, your clientele is mostly older dudes. You get some people who may or may not be connected, so to speak, come in, mob connected. And actually, one of these people that you see is at the bar, and he's a regular in here. His name is Lenny, and he comes and sits down with another regular, a friend of his, by the name of Tommy Slick. You and Tommy there, Lenny, have been, friends for a while. You both are connected. He maybe a little bit more so than you, but you guys have been friends for a while, you and Tommy Slick here. And in terms of what Tommy looks like, he's shorter guy, kind of stocky build, large bulbous nose, but slicks back hair, like complete wet look, greasy looking almost, into a ponytail in the back. Looks like water would bead right off of him. But that's your boy.
Petroleum jelly, get it real thick so it builds up in your comb.
You and him come into your regular bar where you guys frequent. This is the dive bar known as the Fireside Tavern. It's so named because it used to be a old firehouse in like the 1900s, okay. Like the early 1900s.
Grab it.
And it's now called the Fireside Tavern. The place, it looks like it's falling apart. It was, a working firehouse for many years, but probably got converted over in like the 50s to a bar. Yeah. In fact, the sign out front says, Fireside Tavern, established 1953. And like I said, the place is kind of falling apart. The bar has all kinds of chips and nicks in it. You can almost get splinters on it if it weren't for the fact that they kept revarnishing it.
You go to slide a drink down the bar and it always falls.
Yes,
over on one of the
it gets caught on certain spots. It has a shuffleboard table, but there's been spots in it that've been worn so down that you can just aim for that spot and it'll stick every time. And the place is a real shithole. It stinks like cigarettes and cigars half the time.
Throw my jacket over it before I sit down.
Yeah, when it doesn't smell like cigarettes, it smells like cigars.
Like an old hotel room.
Yeah.
I unroll a pack of soft pack from my sleeve.
Soft pack, nice.
Light up.
Tap it down. Tommy Slick says over to you. He goes, "Hey there, Lenny. Drinks are on me tonight."
Hey, let me get a Coors then.
He goes, all right. Hey there, Heather. Heather.
What's up, Len? What's up, Tommy?
He goes, "Hey there, Heather. Get us 2 Coors Lights and why don't you keep the change for yourself there?" And he hands you a 5.
That's the Coors original, bud. Give him a jab. I'm talking gold.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing actually.
Thanks a lot, honey.
He goes, you're good people there, Heather. We like having you around.
I like having you around.
So the night goes through with you guys have a couple beers at the bar. People come and go.
And the shots start.
Yeah, shots start pouring eventually.
You gotta do a shot with us. You know, festivities, hangovers.
Hey, Heather. Heather, come do a shot with us.
I'm still hungover from last night. What are we doing?
Still hungover, still going through with it. What a trooper. So, why don't you pour us a couple shots of Sambuca? Yeah, buka it up.
I'm not doing Sambuca. I'll do a kamikaze. You guys can have Sambuca.
All right, we'll do whatever. It's all on me.
Sounds fair.
And he whips out a 10 and he puts it on the table. It says, another round of shots. He goes, for me, my fella, for him. And he points to another guy who's at the other end of the bar. He's been there the whole time, pounding back drinks. You haven't seen him before, though. But he's been pounding back drinks. He looks pretty slosh. He's a kind of a big fat guy.
I see you, great big fat person.
But Tommy Slick buys him a drink, and he kind of picks his head up wearily and raises the shot glass when you guys do, and everyone has a shot, and festivities continue through. It is a Friday night after all. You guys are union guys. You and Tommy Slick. So it's Friday night union night, and the night goes through without a hitch for the most part until about we're gonna say about midnight or so. Right around midnight, you hear a Tommy reaches down, grabs his pager, takes a look at it, and goes
He holds it upside down.
and goes, hey, Heather, can I borrow the phone or do I have to use the payphone?
Oh, you could use our phone.
Okay, thanks. So you hand him the phone, he picks it up, dials the number. You can overhear him, Lenny, on the phone. And you just hear his side of the conversation where he goes, yeah, this is Tommy. Yeah. Tonight? All right. Okay. How heavy? Do we need a truck? Okay. And he hangs up. He stands up from the bar and puts down another 5 on the bar and just says, that's for you, Heather. Thanks for letting me use the phone. And he turns to you, Lenny, and he says, hey, I got to go. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'll talk to you on Monday, next time I see you, all right?
Yeah, all right. You be safe there.
Will do.
Don't work too much overtime.
He laughs at that, and he gets up, says bye, and leaves. And the night continues on. People keep drinking. How late are you staying there, Lenny?
Probably not too much later. I mean, I don't know. Lenny doesn't. He's just kind of. I feel like he would stay out with his buddy, but after being there alone, he'd probably just go home, sit there alone as well.
At home? Oh,
yeah,
sad.
Sit in front of the TV, microwave a little dinner, sit in his undies. It's a long week, It's only Friday. He usually has stuff to do on the weekend.
All right.
As far as work. It's always
Got hauling to do.
Yeah.
Who knows what it is,
There's
but
so
it's
much
got to go
overtime.
somewhere.
All right. So after he leaves, that one dude is still sticking around the whole time. The dude that's been sitting in the back, the big fat guy at the bar. And he just keeps ordering drinks, and he starts nursing them and just kind of hanging out there. 2 o'clock starts to come around, and he's still in the same spot, kind of wobbling in his chair a little bit. So what do you do about this guy who's just wobbling there in his chair? Everyone else has left at this point.
Okay.
And there's this guy just standing there. You kind of want to close up, I'm guessing. It's 2 a.m.
Yeah. probably just say, all right, hey, hon, we're closing up. Gonna settle out these drawers. You getting a ride home?
Goes, how about instead of getting a ride home, you can give me a ride home. You can come home with me, baby.
No, thank you. I got a lot of work to do here. You want me to call you cab?
Goes, how about instead of calling me a cab, you just give me your number.
Slap.
I say no, thank you. And it's time to go.
And the guy gets a little agitated at that, and he goes, what? I've been in here all day, hanging out. You know, you've been making conversation with me. You know, saying hi and stuff, giving me the flirty eye. You've been flirting with me, right? You know?
Just doing my job. It's time to go. Don't make me call the cops.
He gets up and goes. He pushes his chair. He kicks his bar stool out. You know, makes that sound. And he stands up and he kind of stumbles backwards a little bit, almost falls over. He goes, "You're a bitch," you know that?
All right, have a nice night.
And he kind of stumbles out of the place. Heather, you finish closing up. You count out the till. Count out your tips. Got pretty good tips today. Little customers you were, you got a decent amount of tips. And then you go to leave the bar, and it is cold out, like super cold. The winter coat that you have just isn't quite enough. The pants with the leggings underneath even, the wind's just blowing right through them, and you kind of grip your coat a little tighter to yourself. As you're doing that, you hear a voice behind you. This is after you've locked up now. You hear a voice behind you go, "Hey, I can keep you warm."
This fucking guy.
This guy.
Right now, there's no one around on the street where you're at.
I'm gonna start running, jogging, away,
Jogging.
walking faster.
Okay. What is your move rate? Underpow.
Oh,
It says
7.
Move rate 7. Okay.
Yeah, 7.
All right. Well, this guy kind of starts to keep pace with you a little bit. He's not really walking a straight line, but he's still managing to kind of keep up with you a little bit. And he's kind of going like, "Hey, where do you think you're going?"
All right, can I pull out my mace and threaten to mace him?
You absolutely can. So you pull out your mace. You threaten to mace him. And I'll tell you what, you can give me a roll for Intimidate. I don't know if you have anything under Intimidate. If you don't, it's a 15% chance, which means you roll those 2 dice again. And you want to get under 15.
Would that be an advantage with mace? Nobody wants to get maced, especially like real mace.
No, she's just going to need a regular pass. That's the advantage with the mace.
Okay.
This guy is bigger than her.
Okay. 50.
50. Okay. So you have 2 choices right now. You can either make up the difference by spending luck points. You can retry the roll again by pushing the roll. Just maybe say something more threatening again. Or you can just leave it at that and you do not threaten him.
What happens if I just, like, go home with him so he leaves me alone?
And you get married.
Fuck it. It's cold as shit out here.
Yeah, so is that what you want to do? This guy's kind of gross.
Nah. I won't start off
Okay.
like this.
All right.
Alright, so what can I do? So I can push it or take luck points?
Yeah. Yeah, you can either spend luck points to make up the difference, or you can push the roll if you want to try again.
Yeah, can I just mace him?
You can totally do that, but that will initiate combat.
I'm gonna die already. No, I don't want to mace him then.
We're starting off with a bang.
Okay.
Well, I mean, not
So
necessarily.
what's your
I don't think he'll see you
dex?
too well.
Might spray him in the face with some.
What's your
mace
dex score, Jenny?
45.
40?
45.
45. Okay. So his dexterity is a little lower, so you're going to go first. All right.
Okay.
So what you do is, I don't know what does. It should be at the bottom where it says weapons.
Yeah.
There should be something that says like where your mace is, and it says regular, hard, extreme.
Yeah.
All right. So you just have to pass your regular roll on this one. He's going to well, actually, let's see what you have to get. So right now you just have to do a regular roll. Just pass a regular roll.
All right. Let's see. Fuck.
Come on, mace him.
90.
What'd you get? Oh,
Okay.
man.
That's
Super
okay
high.
because this guy crit failed. I rolled triple fucking zeros,
Oh.
dude.
Woo!
Yeah.
you go.
First
God,
roll
the
with
Chris
these
almost
new
had to
dice.
sleep with this dirtbag.
First roll with these new dice is fucking stupid.
First enemy
So
combat
this
roll,
scumbag,
triple zeros.
drunken scumbag, starts to stumble towards you, and he actually trips and falls, and then he rolls over on his back and is like, "Hey, can you help me up?"
Here, grab this mace.
Yeah, and you just mace him right in the fucking face. I'm gonna say,
Yes.
and he clutches at his face. He's like, "Ah!" You
Got
can
him.
get away.
Okay.
You're going to want to roll
At
that
this
over in
point.
the snow there.
If you sprint away. How did you get here? Anyway, did you drive a car? Did you take public transit?
I probably walked.
Probably walks. You live nearby
I live nearby in an apartment with a roommate.
with a roommate. Okay.
I'm feeling the original Terminator vibe.
Oh, no.
Ginger hold up in the.
She's going down.
Ooh, that's a good name for her
I just
roommate.
feel like she couldn't afford an apartment in the city by herself. There's no way.
Who can?
Ginger. What's a good last name there?
Crusty Bottom.
Ginger Crusty Bottoms.
Yes, and Heather Snakehole.
Snakehole and Crusty Bottoms.
Oh no.
Ginger.
Never going there.
Her name is Ginger Fredrickson.
Oh.
Aw,
Make sure you just jot down Crusty Bottom.
I totally did.
Maybe you call her Crusty Bottoms.
That's just her nickname. It's a
Maybe everybody calls her Krusty Bottoms, but she doesn't know.
Oh.
All right, so you get home, and I'm saying you run home.
yeah.
Give me a Constitution roll. That's con at the top.
Yeah.
Characteristics, yeah.
Say, I know I made that one high. Cause I'm slow, but I can run forever. 66.
Is that a pass? Is that under your con score?
Yeah, it's under.
All right. So you make it home, maybe just slightly winded, but pretty okay. You're in fairly good shape. I'm going to guess you're the type of girl that probably works out every day or does
Yeah,
something
got
for
the,
She's in her
exercise.
20s. She don't need
Yeah.
to.
It's sweating to the oldies.
Gotcha. So you get home. Your roommate is already asleep in her room. But the phone rings in your house again. You pick up your lip phone. And on the other end of the line is your boss. And he says, Heather, listen, tomorrow I'm going to need you to work a double. So from noon to 2 a.m. You going to be able to do that?
Yeah, I guess.
So Saturday, what is Lenny doing on Saturday?
I mean, do I have any work available? Generally, he just kind of buries himself in the job, you know?
Well, there's no
Slow
work
week. He
available
don't know
right
what to do with
now.
himself.
Really,
Party time. Saturday night?
It's a Saturday. You have off.
Well, I suppose I could wash the truck. So I'm gonna spend the morning doing that. I gotta vacuum out the inside. You know, I gotta. It's a big cab to wax and polish.
Okay, you're washing your truck out there on your street where you have you're in one of those South Philly neighborhoods where the street's very narrow. Yet you have this big box truck that you park kind of on the sidewalk, and it kind of pisses off your one neighbor Walter.
It's like the big cab. That's pretty much the only thing I own.
Walter, you wake up in the morning and you see you look out and you see your one neighbor down the street there, the guy that you suspect has ties to the mob, Lenny, and there he is washing that monstrosity of a truck that he has out there, that he has no business parking, that you think he has no business parking on the
Shakes his head, sucks his teeth
on that narrow street.
Sips his coffee. Disgust. No, not really disgust, but he definitely sneers a bit. Mm-hmm. And is there any snow on the ground or ice, or is it clear out there? How's the walking about?
It's clear out. There's no snow on the ground right now, but it is frigid as hell.
Well, who would wash their truck in a day like this anyway? He cracks open the window a little bit. Actually, not a little bit. He probably lifts it up all the way and looks through the screen at you there, Lenny. He's like, you planning on getting frostbite there, Lenny?
Look over at him and say, hey, you know, been out for a while. Got a couple days. Got to get the fries out from under the seats, you know.
Gross.
Just using my time wisely. Minding my business.
Yeah. Okay, then. And with that, he kind of just nods and doesn't look very jovial and slowly closes the window again.
So, as you wash your truck and you guys have a little exchange there, you can see that ice is starting to form already on the ground from any kind of water or anything that you're using.
I don't think maybe washing would be the right word. Just pretty much maybe wiping down the windows and wiping it down, but mostly cleaning out the inside, I guess. If it is super cold, you know, I got to run.
Okay, I got to clean the
heat
inside, the
blasting
cab and whatnot.
and probably the music too. But you know, the windows are closed. People can maybe hear it.
Get the music going. That's probably what might have been what drawed your attention out there.
Yeah, I think it's Stray Cats. I got a Stray Cats cassette.
So Saturday goes by. Do you work at the bookshop on Saturday?
I have a feeling that he would probably be there today with this new interest in the statue and this artist, Jakanovitz. I think he'd probably be looking through some books.
So you spend your day kind of trying to look up stuff about this Jakanovitch guy. You see his work in a couple of art books that have multiple artists in them. Though you're having a tough time finding anything that's specifically about the artist himself, give me a library use roll.
Oof, getting even worse. 94. So I guess is there nothing at the shop here, Joe Clocks?
Joe Clocks, that's right, Joe Clocks Bookshop. At Joe Clocks, you're having a tough time finding anything, but you know, if you want to dig a little deeper, spend a little bit more time, maybe you can find something, but you got a lot of books to pour through.
Well,
a lot of catalogs to go through, too.
It might be a little better if I check the main library. Maybe do a little trip over there.
Okay. All right. Take a little trip over to the main library then that afternoon. And at the main library, give me another library use roll.
Apparently I need to warm these dice up. Ooh, 54, no good.
I thought you had a 60-something for your library use.
No, that's only 45.
45. Okay. So you're at the library, going through catalogs, going through art books, biographies, not finding a whole lot on this guy. You're seeing works from him, but nothing about the artist himself.
I wonder, are there any like auction records or I don't know where there would be information pertaining to the acquisition of this statue? But maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. Maybe I should be looking for the statue itself or pieces of his that have been sold at auctions. But before I go that route, I think I might also check with the librarian to see if they might be able to aid my search.
Okay, this will be pushing the roll if you want to do that.
I will. Still no luck. 62. Darn it.
All right, so even with the librarian's help, you guys take a couple hours, and before you know it, the library's actually closing. It's about 5 o'clock.
I guess it's unfortunate, but not completely unexpected. It seems like a pretty obscure piece. Although I wonder, is this artist, from any particular period? Is it like a Gothic artist or Baroque or anything like, back super far back in the day?
His work seemed to be mostly focused on early 20th century.
Okay. Well, that's something at least.
So fairly modern, I guess you would say, artist. Fairly modern anyway, not, definitely not classical.
All right. Well, then I note in my little book that I will check with some of the local art galleries and or auction houses. Maybe I can see, or maybe even back it up and do a little research into Charles Thiebley himself. See if there's anything I can find out about this guy that might help out my search.
Okay.
But for another time.
If you want to go that route, give me... You know what? Give me a luck roll.
There's a good one on a 2.
You look through the phone book, and you find one that looks... they got like an actual ad in the phone book, not just their number kind of thing. Pretty big, or fairly big. It just kind of stands out a little bit. You're drawn to this one. It's the Vintucci Art Gallery out on the it's out by the main line.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a good start.
Out past the main line, like Bala Kinwood area.
Dig it. Okay. Well, make some more notes and record that number if it's with the ad. Probably the address too, just for sake of completeness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with that, at least I got somewhere to start. I'm going to head back to the place and shave up, make sure my Tom Selleck mustache is nice and proper. And shave
so you're heading back
fuzz.
back to the bookstore or back?
No, back to my place.
All right, so you get that information about the Vintucci Art Gallery. You go home.
Yep.
And you pass by your neighbor's house, and what has Lenny done for the afternoon? Just kind of sit out and watch TV or something? Catch a little Mork and Mindy?
I don't know. I mean, wait, it's Saturday? Maybe I'll go out to the bar, get some roast beef at the strip club.
Okay.
I mean, where else? What do you mean, they got meat at other places?
Nice little buffet.
So, I guess later on in the afternoon, you head over to the bar.
Hey there, Heather. Sorry about last night. I don't know. I guess the week's just caught up with me. He still looks as tired as he did last night. My dark circles might be darker.
That's all right, Lenny. I wish you would have stuck around. That creep at the end of the bar tried to follow me home.
You all right there? What happened?
I'm all right. He tripped on his own fat feet and I maced him in the face.
Got him.
Hey, he got what he deserved.
Looks like Heather doesn't take shit, so she's a tough broad.
You gotta be. Hey, let me get with lunch special there and Coors Gold.
You got it, bud.
All right, so you guys hang out for a little bit, and eventually it starts to get a little bit later in the day, around 8 o'clock or so. You know that your godmother, or Aunt Millie, has that date tonight.
Oh.
You think maybe you call her, see how she's preparing for it before tonight's, planned date. Think maybe give her a quick call, maybe give her some pointers on what to do on a date, since it's been quite some time since she's been on one.
All right.
Right. So you go to call Aunt Millie at her place, and there's no answer.
Dun dun.
Not an answering machine or anything. It just keeps ringing.
Does she live close?
She lives up in the Northeast, so not very close to South Philly. No answer from her is a little weird on a Saturday, since she doesn't do too much. She usually stays at home and reads and stuff, but she could be out food shopping or something.
If I may, I think I probably would have went home at some point in the evening, and then would have been coming back, maybe around 9 or so. You gotta go freshen up and get some dinner. I can't drink all day, every day.
Right. So you do step out, grab yourself some food for a little bit.
But I don't have too much to do, so I would be going back. I'll bring a coffee for Miss Snakehole. She's on a double.
You're the sweetest.
Stop at the Wawa.
For some, get yourself a hot dog or a hoagie, and wind up coming back to the bar eventually. What time would you say you come back to the bar?
Like 9.
Around 9. All right.
9ish.
Heather,
Yeah.
your night is pretty steady. It's a Saturday night, so you made some decent tips this afternoon, and tonight looks like the money's going to keep flowing.
Is this the kind of place that got like pretzels or nuts on the bar, but you might not want to eat them?
Definitely.
Because I think I would eat them.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I eat the shit out of them.
You don't know whose hand's been
Always.
in those nut bowls.
You just take a and make sure there's no fingernails and you're alright.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Spiders.
Delicious.
There's some fiber.
So you guys continue to, have your regular Saturday night drink, but let's get to Walter. Walter, it is about 8 o'clock. I'm going to assume that you have already showered, shaved, and all that kind of stuff for your date tonight.
All that stuff. I got my best suit that I haven't worn in like 4 years. It's like, it's been hanging up. I had to dust it off first. Get that lint roller
Right,
out.
yeah.
Or actually, no, he's probably the guy who has like the extra boxes of packing tape from like, keeping old things safe. So he just like grabs a little handful of that and just pats it on himself. Gets all the dust off of the suit shoulders. Not suit, but I mean,
Okay.
I'm sure he's got a nice button-down shirt.
Been a while since you've been on a date, too.
Yeah, absolutely. These clothes are probably 20 years old
Definitely.
that he's wearing.
So you get dressed up and you head to Chez Vivez, and you get to the restaurant, and the maitre d' is there, and he says, "Can I help you, sir?"
Yes, I'm expecting a +1. I was hoping to have a table for 2 tonight.
Yes, sir. A table for 2. That shouldn't be a problem. If you don't mind waiting about 2 hours for the table.
Ooh.
It's 8 o'clock. It's pretty, yeah.
Well, I suppose I look around. I don't suppose my guest already beat me here. Is
No,
Millie
you don't.
about the grounds?
You don't see Millie around anywhere.
Okay. Says, well, it seems my +1 hasn't arrived yet anyway, so he looks around. Is there anywhere to sit down, or they got like a little waiting
Yeah,
area?
there's like a little bench
Or actually-
near the front podium.
Is there a bar around? You got a little lounge
There's a bar.
area here?
There's a
So,
bar
yeah, maybe
as
I'll
well.
just have a drink and wait for my friend. He kind of describes her a bit and says, she should be along any time now. If she gets here and I don't notice her, maybe you could direct her towards me. He gestures towards an open seat at the bar he'd like to occupy.
Okay. So you find a seat at the bar. It's kind of packed, but you jam in and you manage to find a spot and kind of jam yourself in a little bit
He's a little
between
guy.
two other people who look like they're on dates, or between two other couples that look like they're on dates.
Okay.
And you're just kind of sitting there by yourself for a while. You order a drink.
Gets like a seltzer water plus a drink. He kind of tries to balance it out, stay hydrated, and not get too tipsy before.
Yeah, he's not trying to get wasted before
Yeah.
his date arrives. So you still wait there, and half hour goes by, an hour goes by, and it looks like maybe she's not going to be showing up.
Yeah, I think probably around the 45-minute mark, he would have started thinking about maybe giving her a call, see if everything's still according to plan or if he got anything wrong. So at the hour mark, he would definitely either ask the bartender if there's a phone he could use and go from there, I guess.
Okay. He asks the bartender for a phone. He says, "Sir, there's a payphone at the near the coat check."
Of course. Says, I'll just be right back then. And he sets the napkin on top of his drink, the universal "I'll be right back" sign.
All right. And so he goes over to the payphone and dial up Millie's number, and the phone rings, and it rings, and it rings, and there is no answer, no answering machine picks up.
Well, I suppose that's unusual, unfortunate. I wouldn't suspect he would know her address. Maybe there's something on file at the bookstore for some reason, but I don't know that he'd be able to pursue it much further than the phone number, depending on how well he knows old Millie here. But he's probably the kind of guy to err on the side of caution. So just in case she is going to show up, and I've already waited here half of the waiting time for a table for two anyway. I guess I'll just continue to slowly sip my drinks and maybe just dine alone if nobody shows up. I'm not going to waste the Saturday night.
You continue to sip on your drink, and you're getting pretty hungry at this point.
I believe it.
And it doesn't look like she's showing up.
Well, that part's unfortunate, but I am still hungry, so at this fancy restaurant, I think I'm going to order something.
Okay, so you go back to the maitre d'. Yes, sir. Table for one?
He nods and kind of looks down, a little sulky, I guess, but he kind of, shrugs it off. He says, "Yeah, I guess my plus one is a plus none after all."
That is a shame, sir, but a table for one is just as hard to get to come by as a table for two, you see. It would probably be about another hour before the table is ready.
Says,
you see diners that there are coming, and you see that there are people leaving, and the people coming in, and it looks like maybe they have reservations or something.
Yeah. He says, "Well, you know what? Maybe it's just not in the cards tonight." He says, "No need to prepare a table for me. The drinks are fine." And
Okay.
With that, he finishes up his drink. Maybe I'll head over to Little Pete's on 17th.
Little Pete's.
Greasy hole in the wall. Got some great sandwiches. Lots of
Ooh,
other food.
okay.
Sadly, no longer there, but I'm sure it was in its prime back in the 80s.
Okay, so you head on over to Little Pete's, get yourself a little greasy sandwich. Not quite the fancy fare that you had planned on, but still pretty good eats.
He'd probably look at it like, meh, probably save me $50 to $100. And he gets a nice Italian hoagie with oil. Onions, the works.
Ah, classic. Always good. After you get your hoagie, what do you do? To go home, or?
It's still pretty early, I guess. It's Saturday night. I guess what day in the month is it? It's not like the day after First Friday, is it?
All right, so we're in February, and let's say it wasn't first Friday, but second Friday of the month, which is the 8th.
Okay.
All right, so that would be this
February 8th.
Well, that would be the 8th was yesterday. The 9th would be today, Saturday.
What time is it now?
It's approaching 10 o'clock.
Got you. Well, I'm gonna look around. Do they have a payphone in or outside of Little Pete's here?
On the street they do.
All right. Take my sandwich to go and head to that payphone.
Okay. You take your sandwich to go. You head down to the payphone on the street there. It's a little dirty, kind of scummy. Looks like some asshole may have smeared something sticky on there.
Ugh. He groans and keeps walking for the next one.
Okay. Next one's a little bit more respectable. It doesn't look like anyone has smeared anything on it, but it's still, payphone, a little beat up.
All right. He pulls
Smell
his handkerchief from his breast pocket.
Uh-huh.
He was trying to look fancy tonight, and he wipes down the earpiece and the receiver, or I guess the mouthpiece.
All right.
So you can't be too careful these days. He mumbles to himself, and he's gonna call the Ventucci Art Gallery and see if there's any reply this late at night.
There is an answer at the Ventucci Art Gallery. They go, hello, Ventucci.
Oh, good to hear you're still available.
Because actually, we're about to close, but is there something I can help you with?
Yes, actually. I was looking for some information on a very apparently obscure artist I'm having a hard time tracking down. Might you have any information on an artist last name Jakanovitz? Early 20th century?
And he says, Jakanovich, give me a psychology roll.
Where is that? Ooh, 10%. Not so good. 39. Unfortunately, no.
All right. He does pause for a second, and he says, what was it that you wanted to know about Jakanovich?
Well, I'm actually doing some research for a customer of mine. I'm a bit of an antiquarian, and I like to restore old pieces. I've had an inquisition about a strange inheritance, some sort of abstract statue that was made by this Jakanovitz and Jakanovich. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, but yeah, all the research I've done at the libraries and with books that I have access to have left me with nothing. And you guys seem to be pretty respectable. Thought I'd reach out to you and see what I can find out.
He says to you, well, Jakanovich is kind of a hot commodity right now, actually. Anything else aside from that you'd like to know about him? If you have time to come down to the gallery, if it depends on how busy we are, but we could probably talk a little bit about Jakanovich to you if you would be so inclined to do so.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd like to see if this piece has any value and, advise the person who made the inquiry in the first place. So, yeah, I suppose depending on what your schedule's like, I could make a trip up there whenever you're available and go from there.
It says to you, okay, well, we'll be open again on Tuesday.
Okay.
That will be our next available day that we will be open.
All right. Well, that gives me some time to do a little research. All right. Thanks for your time.
And he says, no problem. We open on Tuesday at noon.
All right. He writes that down too.
It's past 10 o'clock, or it's 10 o'clock. You cut your losses and head home, or?
No, actually, I think I'm going to go back to my study at the bookstore. Because I found some information, and I mean, the being stood up part, as salty as that is, I mean, he still does have a job to do. So I'm going to see if we have Millie's address on file.
Okay.
And at the very least, check in on her. See,
I see.
Whatever happened.
So you go back to the bookshop, and you do look up some of the files there, and she has a line of credit there, and actually has her address on file.
Well, that's certainly helpful.
It's up in the Northeast, so it's a little bit of a drive away. Do you drive? Do you take public transit?
For a trip up to the Northeast, he'd probably drive. I forget if he has a vehicle specifically.
What's your credit rating?
It ain't too bad. It's the 80s. We got 95 now.
What is this?
Is there no 95 back then?
They completed it in the 70s. So we probably had it like maybe 6 or 7 years now, maybe. I don't know.
Credit rating of 30. He's got a car. Yeah, for something like that, he would definitely drive. But it is kind of late, and since he didn't really hear from her anyway, he'd probably wait till the morning to pursue anything. So I think I'm probably...
What does he drive?
Knowing him, it's probably like a Pinto or
Pinto,
something-
nice. A
something
gremlin.
Really? I was thinking
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
like an old Cadillac.
No, and
Ford Fiesta.
had her an old Escort. Well, I guess it'd be new then, but no, I guess takes his sandwich and heads home.
Takes a sandwich, heads on home. Did you kind of turn in for the night?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, since he got stood up and nothing else is really going on, they probably just have some food, maybe watch a little TV, read something, and head to bed.
I gotcha. All right, so you finish up your night, just a little salty over being stood up, but still interested in this Jakanovich character, and you have Millie's address. You're going to visit her in the morning, or call her in the morning, whatever you're going to do. See what's going on with Heather and Lenny. You would usually be seeing your friend Tommy Slick showing up by now, but he hasn't. Maybe he has something else going on tonight.
Sometimes the job goes long, I don't know where he's got to go, what he's got to do.
But you guys party it up a little bit. It starts to be around closing time. Before you know it, it's 2 a.m. Do you clear out the bar there, Heather?
All right, time to go. Everybody out.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Shut it down.
So you shut down the bar.
I look around, make sure there's no creeps around this town. I feel a little bad that I left her hanging.
That's nice of you.
Yeah. Hey, one more shot while everyone's taking off, huh?
You got it. I'll do one with you.
All right, well they're on me there.
So you guys do a shot together. A little palling it up. She leaves, and do you ask him to walk you home, or do you just go home on your own? You just make sure there's no creeps around?
No, I probably ask him to walk me home. Samus just got
Right.
brutalized.
So
Yeah, you know what? No problem.
you oblige her, walk her home. It's only a couple blocks away. And when you get to the step there, you guys part ways.
How far do I live from here? Or from the
You
bar?
live more like a short car, like a 5-minute car ride from.
Probably still walk anyway.
You could.
Might as
It's
well.
definitely walkable.
Yeah.
Right, so you walk
Something
home,
to do.
which is probably still better, given that you've been drinking and everything.
Yeah, and I sit down a lot, when I'm driving. It's just a lot of sitting. You don't get exercise on the road, so it's good for me. I'm not getting any younger. Huh?
Got to keep them bones warmed
That's
up.
how you get Hemis.
So the walk home is pretty brutal. It's still very cold out, windy. But you manage to drop off Heather, and your walk home is equally brutal and just longer. But you guys get home. Heather, you get home and you click on the answering machine. There's no messages. You're expecting maybe to hear from Aunt Millie or something about her date.
Yeah. All right. So I call her.
Okay, you call her and it rings, and it rings and it rings, and there's no answer, and it's 2 in, or it was past 2 in. Let's say it's about 2:30 in the morning.
Okay, I'm probably worried, but not too worried because it's 2:30 in the morning.
Right. Okay, so you're getting a little bit on the worried side, but I'm gonna say you wind up going to bed. When you get home, though, Lenny, there is a message on your answering machine.
Who would be calling me there? This thing never beeps. I'll play the message.
And it's you recognize the voice right away. It's Chucky, who is a boss, one of the higher ups in the mob that you kind of answer to. Chucky M.
I mean, like my boss, as far as the union is concerned, or is there one guy that covers pretty much most of what I do, legal and otherwise?
Yes.
Or do I have two
Yeah.
bosses?
No, he covers your truckers union thing, but you also kind of answer to him personally sometimes. He, on your answering machine, says, Lenny, got a little problem with Tommy. Give me a call when you get a chance.
Well, that can't be good. A little problem is always not little. Well, shit. If I'm listening to this recorded message, it's already too late. He's not pleased. I'm gonna call him, even though it's late. Does it say what time that message was received, or is it? I don't know the technology exactly.
It does not.
No. Okay. Well, either way, I call back immediately.
At what time?
When I get home, I guess it's probably what, 3?
It's almost 3 in the morning.
Is that? I mean, do I assume that's a bad time, or should I just get up early?
You think that might not be the best time to contact Chucky.
Then I crash. I was setting an alarm. I'm gonna try to get up early.
Okay. You guys have a good night's sleep and wake up the next day, all 3 of you.
Oh, good.
One big bed.
Let's go.
That's a blessing.
Let's start with who probably wakes up the earliest out of you 3, do you think?
I wanted to set an alarm and wake up a little early, maybe like 6:30, 7. I didn't get much sleep.
Okay. On a Sunday. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so you probably wake up the earliest out of anyone.
And I washed myself, and I called Chucky.
Okay, you call up Chucky, and Chucky says to you, Lenny, nice to get in touch with you. There was a little bit of a problem with the job that I sent Tommy on. He came back with the goods, but he's not exactly the same as he was. We don't know what to do with him at this point, but he's a babbling lunatic right now, it seems. He's gone Stugats in the head, you know?
No way. Not Tommy.
Not Tommy Slicks.
He came back with what I sent him out for, but his whole outlook, came back and he was pale and babbling about some monsters or something like that.
Somebody drugged him or something. That ain't right. That ain't Tommy.
His family got him committed.
Right, his family, huh?
No, not our family. His personal family.
Are we able to visit him at all? Do you know where he's at?
Well, that's something that I would like to talk to you about. Visiting him specifically, but we'll talk about that in person. I don't want to talk about that over the phone.
Right,
okay?
of course.
And it's Sunday. It is the day of rest, after all.
Of course.
So let's allow your friend Tommy to rest his weary mind. And I suggest you do the same.
Right, yeah. Then I guess I'll see you whenever you pencil me in there.
We'll see you Monday morning. How's that? I'll come down to the truck depot, and we can talk then.
All right, that sounds good. I'll see you then.
What do you say? You go back to sleep?
I said put on some Sunday morning TV, maybe pass out, maybe crack a beer, but not really drink it. Just put it down next to me.
Okay.
Drink it when I get up.
What time
Starting
is
early.
it?
It was like 7:30 when I set the alarm.
Later on in the day, though, we've got Walter who wakes up. I'm going to guess Walter wakes up next because I'm going to guess that Heather probably doesn't wake up until at least noon.
Yes, sir.
Why would you?
Well, probably start his regular routine, make some coffee, have some breakfast, maybe settle in a little bit and give old Millie a call.
You call Millie, and
I think you called her
the
old
phone
Millie.
rings and continues to ring, but there's no answer.
That really is strange. Well, then
Ghosted.
just have some breakfast and put on some regular, warm clothes, but otherwise regular, not fancy dress, and head on over to whatever address. Actually, I'd refer to that information I jotted down. Where does she live?
In the Lawndale neighborhood.
Gotcha. Well, then I guess I'm gonna have to heat up my Pinto, get the car warm, and
Yes.
head on up there.
So you heat the car up a little bit, leave it running in the street for a second before you hop into it because it is still very cold outside.
He watches it from the door, though.
It's beginning to snow a little bit.
Oh, great! I better make this quick. He thinks to himself.
All right, so you drive up to the northeast, to the Lawndale neighborhood to the address that you have jotted down, and you pull up to the house. But you see the address. It's not particularly decorated in any sort of way. There's a wreath on the front door, but it looks like it's been there for a while.
All right. Well, park and lock it up. Head on up to the door. Give it a knock.
You knock on the door, but there is no response.
That's weird. What about the door? Have any windows or anything I can see through?
There are some windows, but the curtains are drawn.
Oh, okay. I wonder. I take a look around. I guess 180. Any neighbors about?
There are a couple. There are no one's around on the street right now.
Like, how close are the doors? Like her neighbor's doors? Is it something that I could reach from Millie's step? Like knock on.
Oh,
the
do they
neighbor's
share a
door kind of
porch?
thing? Yeah, kind of thing like that.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna give a little rap upon the neighbor's door just in case.
Okay, you give a little rap on the neighbor's door. Woman in pink hair curlers and a baby blue robe answers the door. Older lady, about maybe 60 or so. Little older than you.
Gotcha. I say, well, hey, sorry to trouble you. I know it's freezing out here. I had hoped to reach your neighbor Millie. Have you seen her recently?
I saw her briefly yesterday, but that was about it.
I mean, do you usually see her every day? I mean, I tried to contact her last night, and I haven't been able to reach her again today. Normally, I wouldn't be so worried, but we were supposed to go out to that fancy French restaurant, Chez Vez Vez. And, well, I
don't think you're pronouncing that right.
He hangs his head for a second. He says, yeah, and I forgot to ask the waiter how to pronounce it. And, but yeah, long story short, I thought she would have been excited. I was anyway. But, see, she also asked me to look into something for her. And, well, I guess if you see her, could you just let her know that Walter stopped by? It's, I guess, a little important.
So if I see her, tell her to give you a call?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll let her know. Nice meeting you, Walter. And she closes the door behind her.
That lady ain't gonna say shit. She don't remember.
Yeah, right. Just in case, how are these row homes set up? Is there like an alley that I could walk back through if I were to knock on or attempt to knock on the back door?
Peeping Tom.
There's a small break between a couple of them. They're more, I guess,
Twins?
I guess more like twins, like duplexes, than like a full row of homes.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, I think I might just check the back door just for the sake of kind of thoroughness. I mean, I would think that he would find it strange that he can't at least get in touch with her. So, just to be on the safe side, I'll check the back door too, if he can get back there.
Okay. You head around back, look in the back door. It looks like there's some things kind of on the floor, like some books and some papers and stuff through the back door and the small section of the window that you can see into the kitchen.
Well, I mean, I give the door a knock just in case she's in the back half of the house and didn't hear the front. Kind of hard.
Okay, you give a little knock. No one comes to the door, though.
I don't think I checked the front door, but is the back door locked?
Back door is locked.
Okay. Well, then, dang. I do the old, hands to the glass, try to block out the sun. Is there anything I can see that's any more of an indication or any clue as...
Give me a spot hidden roll.
What might have knocked all these things down, I wonder? 48 is just enough to pass.
Nice.
That's a pass?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it a hard pass?
No, just a regular pass.
Okay. You see that some of the books are on the ground. They look like they've been kind of chaotically thrown about almost.
All right. That seems weird. Maybe she was looking for something and didn't feel like putting it away. Kind of mumbles to himself. I mean, the only other thing I could think would be on the way back to the front door, or maybe if there's a back window or something that he can get any better viewpoint or something like that. Otherwise, if there's no better vantage point from any other window, gonna go back and try the front door to see if it's locked.
There's a window, but it's kind of hard to reach.
Okay. I don't suppose there's a chair about that might make it a little bit easier to look through.
Nothing easier than the difficult to look through window. If you want to try to look through that window, you can give me a dexterity roll.
Well, this can't hurt. It passes.
Oh.
32. I mean, try to jump or something and do like a little half hang, kind of look through the window. He's a little guy.
Cat back there. Old man.
Hey,
56-year-old dude.
yeah, right. Still got it.
All right, but did you pass?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so you do manage to balance yourself easy enough and jump over and kind of lift yourself up a little bit into the window. And through this window, give me one more spot hidden roll.
No good. 67.
Nope, I don't see anything new through this window.
All right. Well, it's lousy weather out here. He heads back to the front. I'm going to check that front door, see if it's locked just in case.
Okay.
But seems like that's about all I'm going to do here. Is the front door locked?
You head back to the front. What do you do at the front door?
Just to check it, see if it's locked.
It's not locked.
Ooh. Well, in that case, he pushes the door open a little bit and says, Millie? It's Walter. Are you there?
You hear nothing but silence. As you peer into the room, it looks like the whole living room is in disarray.
Ooh, my. Goodness. I kind of look around. Are there any, like, obvious neighbors, like, with their window all the way open, curtains, pulled all the way open, like, watching me? Like, who's this guy?
Nothing like that right now.
I mean, he feels a little, like, probably worried at this point, but also doesn't want to get in trouble himself for something he didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he might have to take a few steps in and shout a little louder. Millie, is everything okay? Is anyone here?
Give me another spot hidden roll.
44 is a regular pass.
That's a pass.
Yes, sir.
You see that there is a bookshelf knocked over. It looks like it's been broken. Some of the books have spilled out into the kitchen. Next to the couch, there is a phone. It's fallen onto the floor, but onto its top so that it won't appear busy. So the clicker is still down on it so that it would ring. But it's on the floor. Next to where the phone is on the nightstand that is next to the couch, you see a pad of paper and a pencil that has been thrown away or thrown to the side.
Like the pad and paper that I saw her writing in, her, like, presumably planner? All right.
I know the page is blank.
Gotcha. Could I attempt to make an impression on a piece of paper on my pad?
You could. You take a piece of paper, lay it on top, and do that pencil scratchy thing. So you do that, and it looks like there was 2 numbers that were written down here. The top one says Fireside Tavern, and then it has a number underneath it. Also written down is something that says Ventucci Art Gallery and has their number written on it.
That's odd. Fireside Tavern? Okay. Well, that's pretty weird. Still pretty worried, but if there's nothing obvious, I don't know. I mean...
No, there are no signs of Millie anywhere right now. As far as you can see, just in this living room anyway.
Yep. Well, I think I'm gonna keep looking because I'm kind of worried at this point. Stuff all strewn about.
Okay.
No reply. So I guess I'll figure to check the rest of the house. I'll check the first floor that I'm on.
Okay. As you go to inspect the rest of the house, you head into the kitchen. In the kitchen, to your horror, you see blood splatter across the floor and table. Hey, this is George. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment. We are also a podcast that you can check out wherever you listen. We are on TikTok and Instagram at That Cthulhu Jawn, and you can email us with any questions or comments at thatcthulhujawn@gmail.com. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment. We are also a podcast that you can check out wherever you listen. We are on TikTok and Instagram at That Cthulhu Jawn, and you can email us with any questions or comments at thatcthulhujawn@gmail.com.